32 years ago, investigators found the bodies of Tommy Griffin and Connie Branham. They also found a burned out car and a burned trailer. Decades later, the question remains, what happened? 10 News Blount County reporter Libby Cunningham spoke to the man convicted of killing them, and that man is serving time right now, Libby, on death row.
John, Gary Wayne Sutton's been on death row for nearly 3 decades. The group Justice for Gary Wayne Sutton says he didn't kill anyone. They're holding a press conference Friday morning to ask Governor Bill Lee to meet with them and to go over his case. For 28 years, Gary Sutton sat on Tennessee's death row. Jurors found him and his uncle, James Dellinger, guilty in the grisly murders of Tommy Griffin and Connie Branham. Dellinger died on death row, but Gary's been there for nearly 30 years.
Other than the fact that I didn't do this was my best friend that got killed. I think people, that gets lost with people.
A Blount County jury sent Gary Wayne Sutton to the electric chair in the late 90s. Tennessee isn't executing anybody right now, but once they start back up, he could be next. Gary tells me he didn't kill his best friend, Tommy Griffin, and he didn't kill Tommy's sister, Connie Branham, either. Heather Cohen, a private investigator from Nashville who's worked numerous high-profile cases, says she's tracked down key witnesses and jurors who don't think there's enough evidence to prove Gary killed anyone.
Barbara Gordon was one of the first witnesses that I spoke with. She was a key witness in the case, and one of the first things she said to me was that she had lost sleep because she was not sure that the white truck that she saw that day was James Dellinger's, and she really felt like more or less they put words in her mouth.
The clock is ticking for Cohen and for Sutton, along with his loved ones who want Governor Bill Lee to sit down with them, hear them out, and exonerate Gary. The Tennessee Department of Correction wouldn't let me interview him in person, but said I could write him a letter and see if he calls back. Carolyn Miller and Sutton were dating when he got arrested, and they were together the night Tommy went missing. Miller is now leading the charge for Sutton's freedom.
We don't know exactly what we can do, what needs to be done. We just know that we need people to listen, we need his story out, and we need to show, we need people to know he is innocent. He did not kill Tommy.
Sutton's road to death row started here, along the Little River in Walland. That's where Tommy Griffin's body was found in 1992. The case went through Sevier County, where Sutton was convicted of killing Griffin's sister, and went in front of a Blount County jury, who sentenced him to the electric chair after returning a guilty verdict in Griffin's death. It all happened during a rare Sunday court session in 1996.
What I went through, all these years not having any lawyers that really cared enough to get in there and do anything.
There are a lot of moving parts in Sutton's case. He tells me that Sevier County's newspaper, the Mountain Press, covered Connie Branham's trial extensively. They did, and the story is told within these pages. Prosecutors built the case on the theory that James Dellinger and Sutton were fighting with Tommy before he died. The case moved ahead with that theory, and they say Connie died when she went looking for her brother. Gary and James were tried together.
There was definitely an obvious problem with the trial, starting with the fact that the DA had admitted in open court that they had no evidence on Gary, and that if they separated the trial between him and his uncle, that they would have to let him walk because they had nothing tying him to this.
Cohen says she thinks someone else killed Tommy and Connie based on her investigation, a man named Lester Johnson. She says Johnson has since died. Cohen says she's not exactly sure how Tommy and Connie were tied to Johnson, but they were to testify in an assault trial where he was a suspect. Connie and Tommy never showed up. Johnson walked. Here's what Johnson's girlfriend said happened next.
She ended up giving a statement that said that day she picked him up from jail and took him and dropped him off in Sevier County. And this is the day that Tommy went missing.
And of course, the victims and their family are important here too. Tommy and Connie's mother, Viola Davis, said this about whoever killed her kids in a 1992 interview with 10 News.
And I don't know how anybody could be so cruel and live in our community or society out here.
See,
1, 2, 3, 4 here.
Even Tommy and Connie's brother, James Griffin, says someone fired bullets into his car after his siblings were killed.
The people that go out and kill anybody and burn them up and shoot anybody in the back of the head, it's sort of dangerous, isn't it?
Gary claims he's not bitter, but spending his life in a cinder block cell is a nightmare. Before hanging up, he tells me his story serves as a warning and a reminder.
I just like people to know that you can get here by being innocent.
Gary's story doesn't end here. There are questions Heather, Carolyn, and even some Tennessee lawmakers have about the evidence into that case. And we'll get into those in the next couple of weeks. The Tennessee Department of Correction told me there's no way to know when Gary's execution date is because none are on the books right now. Back to you.
All right, Libby, we'll continue to follow it. Thank you for your reporting.